Right back at it. January 20th, 2025, Donald Trump was sworn in as the 47th president of the United States of America. His election was due to the votes of the people of the United States of America, obviously. Yet, Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom act as if he tricked his way into the Oval Office. What we're going to get into is going to be a video of Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom discussing their dissent with the instruction of the federal government under the instruction of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is staying true to his word. What he said he was going to do is exactly what he's doing. There's no surprises.
On day one, I will seal the border and will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. And if other countries say they won't take them back, we're not going to take them back. I will say that, here they come. You're just going to hold on to your britches, because here they come. They're coming back.
The American people voted for it. That's what the majority of Americans wanted. American citizens, including Californians such as myself, are sick and tired of our borders being trampled upon. Donald Trump called it an invasion. And the more you think about it and the more you process the amount of people crossing the southern border into the United States illegally, into the millions. Oh yeah, when you factor in that over the course of time, you see that is exactly what it is. So let's get right into it.
Local officials demanding answers after federal agents and troops gathered at a park for what appeared to be an immigration-related operation, but the mayor claims the only thing interrupted was a children's summer camp. ABC's.
Look at ICE. ICE coming through there deep. And look at these fools. Look at these individuals out here trying to block the federal government. Don't you understand that the military has the right, the federal government has the right to do exactly what they're doing? They're not breaking the law. They're following lawful orders. So at what point do these individuals, at what point do you begin to charge people who want to do these types of things with obstruction, with whatever other crime they're guilty of? Now, obviously, if they're the press, that's a different story. But when you have individuals who are interfering with law enforcement's job, with their legal authoritative jobs, it's time for these people to go to jail.
Christian Cordero has details. Christian, good morning.
Andrew, good morning. The questions being raised about that show of force come as more immigration officers come under attack, facing ambushes and assaults. This morning, new questions after federal agents descended onto MacArthur Park in Los Angeles yesterday. 90 National Guard troops in tactical gear deploying to the mostly empty park. Officials only saying the troops were there to support immigration authorities.
What a disgrace, what's happening in MacArthur Park. What theater?
This man is a fool, man. I don't like to call people fools. I don't take that lightly, but Gavin Newsom politically is a fool. See, Gavin Newsom would have done better to have a level of bipartisanism, right? In other words, even if he didn't agree 100% with the orders or with the things that the Trump administration is doing, he would do well to show some level of cooperation with the actions of the federal government. Instead, he's taking this anti-position, this position of, oh, it's just a disgrace. Oh, these people are just a bunch of victims. No, Mr. Newsom, they're looking for individuals who have violated American laws. They're looking for criminals, if you will. This is who they're looking for. And if your state, if the state of California would make it easier for the federal government to do their job, their lawful job, then they wouldn't have to be out on the street in this way. But Mr. Newsom has this thing with taking no accountability and trying to shift blame on others. The same way they tried to blame the riots that were happening in LA a couple weeks ago, he tried to blame them on Donald Trump. When the truth is, your policies have created chaos all over the state of California. That is the reality.
California Governor Gavin Newsom slamming the Trump administration.
Those National Guard men and women that were out there protecting people are now being used as political pawns.
Who were in the park today were children. It was their summer camp.
Mayor Karen Bass saying there were no threats at the park, only children whose camp was interrupted.
Did this 8-year-old tell me that he was afraid of ICE? Did the 8-year-old tell me that he was afraid of ICE?
Look at the background. I'm going to tell you guys something. When Karen Bass said in an interview that Los Angeles is a city of immigrants, I think people really need to understand what she's saying. Like, you need to learn how to, like, not learn, but you should try to read between the fine print. What Karen Bass is saying is that the government of Los Angeles is set up such as to cater towards the needs of immigrants. And there is no distinction anywhere in Los Angeles between a legal and an illegal immigrant. See, this is what people have to understand. This is a fact, okay? Roughly 40% of Mexican Americans have at least one parent who is undocumented, meaning in the country illegally, and according to ICE, now eligible for deportation. A lot of these children and the children of their children now sit on the city council in Los Angeles, now hold significant level of influence and power in the city of Los Angeles. So this is the reason why this woman got elected, because they know that she will cater to the needs of this issue, of this community. And again, she would do well, as I said, the same that Mr. Newsom would do well, to try to come to a bipartisan agreement, right? The federal government's going to do its job. Why won't she do hers? Why won't she work with the federal government to accomplish the will of the American people? Of the American people. How can one be an Angelino without being a United States citizen? Make that make sense to me. You're a member of my community and I should see you as a member of my community, but you're not a US citizen? No, you did something wrong. You tried to scam or cheat the game in some way. You're not my equal. You're not the equal to my fellow Angelino. And I'm not saying I want to see you get treated inhumanely. I'm not saying I want to see you get, dog walked or done illegally, right? But if the law says that cheaters must now pay the piper and you're a cheater, then unfortunately you must pay the piper. That's not on me. It's not my responsibility as a Californian, as a United States citizen, even as a believer of God in Christ, to safeguard you from the repercussions of your own actions. See, this is the foolishness of some on the left. Some on the left believe that their insubordination with federal law is moral, is just, when in fact it's the exact opposite. When in fact it is the exact opposite. The federal law, the United States of America has a border, is a country with a border, and has the right to have laws pertaining to that border, such that if one violates the law and enters this country unlawfully, you can be dealt with a certain way under the law. That's not unjust, that is just. The truth of the matter is, and this is why I love the protests, because they revealed who these people truly are. Donald Trump would say that some on the left hate America. Hate America. And after seeing the protests, the actions of these individuals during the protest, seeing the actions of these individuals during the 4th of July protest, where they're hanging the American flag, carrying the American flag upside down, burning the American flag, waving foreign flags on U.S. soil, when they've spent the majority of their life on U.S. soil, not in the place of that flag that they're waving. What does that communicate to you? They don't want to go there. They don't want to go there, but they want to wave that flag here while simultaneously disrespecting the American flag. What does that tell you? These people are lunatics. These are radical leftist lunatics. And I had to be more specific here. There's a lot of people in California who would like to see this country go back under the jurisdiction of Mexico. They wouldn't care. They would be fine. They would actually be happy with California going back to Mexico. You guys have to understand, and these are U.S. citizens. Some of these individuals are sitting in city council seats with positions of authority. This is the reality. So I hope that with all of that being said, I hope that Donald Trump deports and the administration, I hope that they do their job to the fullest, and that they leave no stone unturned. Because that is going to be the only way we're going to rectify this problem, because what this is showing you is that this problem exists from the top down. Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom would have done better to be bipartisan. Even if you didn't fully agree with what the Trump administration is doing, use your common sense and understand what an illegal is and how they should be dealt with, and make it easier on the federal government to do their job, rather than making it seem as if the federal government is doing the job totally wrong. Isn't that what you're supposed to be doing as a politician? Instead, you want to play this blame game and make it seem, oh, it's them. No, it's you. It's your responsibility as a mayor, as a governor, to work with the federal government. And then Newsom has the nerve to talk about politics. Oh, they're playing this political game. No, you're playing a political game. If you weren't playing a political game, you would be able to work with the federal government and stop playing this blame game that he's been playing.
Taking his parents.
A recent report said the park is a crime-ridden, open-air drug market, but no arrests were reported during the troops' presence.
Did you hear that? MacArthur Park, known for all these things, drugs, gangs, crime. Why do you think the federal government was there? Karen Bass says nothing about that. Nothing about it. Just oblivious, just stupid.
It comes as federal officials report a spike in violence against immigration agents, with assaults against ICE and Border Patrol personnel up 500% since January. Just yesterday, a man in tactical gear opening fire on a Border Patrol facility in Texas. Police say 27-year-old Ryan Lewis Mosqueda fired dozens of rounds into the building near the McAllen airport. 2 local officers and a Border Patrol employee were hurt. Mosqueda was killed. Investigators found his vehicle spray-painted with the words Cortis DA, a phrase from a Call of Duty video game referring to an anti-government uprising.
Look at this. The foolishness of people. The foolishness of people. But I think honestly that things will get worse before they get better, unless people on the left get their act right.
Unless we stop the hateful rhetoric against ICE and Border Patrol comparing them to Nazis, there's going to be more situations like that.
In a separate incident on July 4th, officials say a group of 10 to 12 people in military gear ambushed officers at an immigration detention facility in Alvarado, Texas. The group drawing officers out of the building, launching fireworks and damaging vehicles before opening fire, hitting one officer in the neck.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely and completely unacceptable. There is no way that we should be allowing these things to happen in the United States of America. So ICE right now, they got a heck of a job to do. And they are on the front lines of American freedom. They are on the front lines of American liberation. They are on the front lines of stopping this illegal invasion of immigrants. And what this really makes you do is have to rethink this whole idea. The reason why Donald Trump is saying we want to get rid of birthright citizenship, which is coming down the pipeline in a few months, is because we need to eradicate this anti-American fabric that exists in America. If you want to be anti-American, then go to the place where your allegiance truly lies. It doesn't matter where that is, but you should go there. Because if you come here with that mentality to the point where you're breaking the law, trying to stop the federal government from doing its job, God forbid, sitting here trying to plot on how you're going to attack federal agents, then you got to go. So Donald Trump, in these last 6 months, because like we said, January 20th, Donald Trump has exceeded expectations, but in his own mind, probably just barely meeting them, if meeting them at all, which is great for us as American citizens. But Donald Trump is doing a phenomenal job, and we can only wait and see what the next 3.5 years has to come. Like, share, subscribe, fam, comment below. Tell me what y'all think. Tell me y'all again. Peace.